You're forgetting something. Not your keys. Not a name. Your entire childhood. The first years of your life, completely erased. You can't remember being born. You can't remember learning to walk. You can't remember the first time you laughed. But your brain was recording everything. So where did it all go? This has a name, infantile amnesia, and it affects every single human being on Earth. For over a century, scientists have been obsessed with one question: why? Sigmund Freud had a theory. He believed we repress our earliest memories, that they're too raw, too disturbing, too painful to surface. But modern neuroscience completely disagrees. The real answer isn't about trauma. It isn't about repression. It's about construction. Your brain, as a baby, simply wasn't built yet. Not built to store memories the way an adult brain does. And to understand why, you first need to understand how memory actually works. Memory is not like a video recorder. It doesn't capture everything in perfect detail. Every single memory is a construction, a process, built from pieces. And the architect of that process is a tiny curved structure deep inside your brain. It's called the hippocampus. The hippocampus acts like the editor of your life. It takes raw experience, sights, sounds, emotions, sensations, and it decides what gets encoded into long-term memory, what gets saved, what gets discarded, what gets filed away for later. But here's the problem. When you were a baby, the hippocampus was still under construction. Imagine trying to save a file to a hard drive that hasn't been formatted yet. The hardware exists, but the filing system doesn't. Experiences happen, data comes in, but there's nowhere to store it properly. And there's a second reason. Language. We store autobiographical memories using language. We narrate what happened to us. We give events a beginning, a middle, and an end. But babies don't have language. No words, no narrative, no internal monologue. So even if something powerful happens, a loud noise, a warm face, a moment of fear, there's no label, no file name, no way to retrieve it consciously later. Think of it this way. You take thousands of photographs, but you never write dates on them, never put them in an album, never organize them at all. Years later, you go looking for one specific moment. It happened. You know it happened, but you have no way of finding it. That is infantile amnesia. In one metaphor. Now here's where it gets genuinely strange. Babies do form memories. This has been proven. A newborn can recognize its mother's voice within hours of birth. A baby can be conditioned. A baby can learn. These are called implicit memories. Procedural, below the surface. The fear of a loud sound. The comfort of a specific smell. The rhythm of a heartbeat. These memories are encoded. They shape behavior. They influence emotion. But they can't be consciously accessed. Like data written in a language the system can no longer read. In 2014, researchers at the University of Toronto discovered something remarkable. They took baby mice who had learned to fear a specific environment, and they erased those fear memories. The mice forgot. The memory was gone. But then, the researchers triggered specific neurons, and the fear came back. The original memory was recovered. The memories weren't deleted. They were just inaccessible. This raised a terrifying and beautiful question. What if your earliest memories are still in there, buried somewhere, encoded in circuits you simply can't reach? Now there's one more piece, and this one is the most counterintuitive of all. Neurogenesis, the birth of new neurons. As a baby, your brain produces new neurons at an astonishing rate, thousands every single day. This is what makes babies so powerful at learning. The brain is plastic, explosive, hungry. But here's the dark side of that growth. New neurons integrate into existing circuits, and in doing so, they disrupt the old connections. The very thing that makes a baby powerful at learning is the same thing that erases what was already learned. Growth overwrites memory. The price of becoming is forgetting where you began. So now, let's talk about what survives. Most people retrieve their earliest memory from around age 2.5 to 3. And almost always, it's emotional. Something that broke the ordinary pattern of days. A fall, a birthday, a moment of being lost, a face you'll never forget. Emotion is the glue of memory. The stronger the feeling, the deeper the imprint. This is why you never remember a random Wednesday afternoon from age 2. But you remember the day something changed. And here's one final layer, one most people don't know about. Culture shapes memory. People from cultures with strong oral storytelling traditions, like the Maori people of New Zealand, remember significantly further back. Children whose parents regularly talk with them about the past, revisiting shared experiences, asking questions, building stories together, developed richer, earlier memories. Memory is not just biological, it's social, it's cultural, it's taught. We remember what we are helped to remember. So, why do we forget our earliest memories? Because our hippocampus wasn't ready. Because we had no language to label what we felt. Because new neurons rewrote the old circuits. And because no one told us to hold on. But here's the thing that stays with me. Those years shaped everything. Every attachment, every fear, every instinct you carry today. You don't remember them, but they remember you. You were loved before you could understand love. You were afraid before you had a word for fear. You learned before you knew you were learning. And somewhere, deep in circuits you'll never consciously reach, all of it is still there, waiting, quiet, yours. If this made you think about your own earliest memory, I want to know what it is. Leave it in the comments. And if you're curious about what else your brain is hiding from you, the next video is exactly that. I'll see you there.